Hello everybody, I'm back. I got a Bellari RP533. I'm going to be doing a review, and then I'm going to swap out the tubes in it so y'all can check the difference between I guess if I'm correct, I think the factory tubes are well, I bought this used, so they may not be factory. The tubes inside are Sovtech, and then I got me some Mullard tubes to replace it with. In the future, I may be doing some more upgrades to this unit. I was looking online before I started filming this, and I saw that you can replace the op amps in this unit, and it's pretty easy to do. I may continue this video with that upgrade as well, but today I'm going to do a review of this and then swap the tubes, and then you can hear the comparison. The mic I'm using is a Shure SM7B, and right now, because to me, like on this preamp, the gain staging is pretty different. I don't know if they designed it that way for broadcast or whatever, but I was about to use a Neumann TLM 103 to do this, and ended up switching to the Shure because I would have the pad off and the volume and the gain all the way down, and then it still gave me plenty of volume. And then when I just barely started to crank it up, it would clip a lot, and then when I put the pad on and then crank it all the way up, it would I would barely get any volume out of the Neumann. So I decided to go with the dynamic mic for this. Right now, the gain, it'd be pretty easy to compare this. The gain's up all the way, the output level's up all the way, and this is what I'm getting from an SM7B. If you hear any like clicking or buzzing, it's because I'm holding the microphone like by the connector. So if it like clicks or anything, it's probably me wiggling that connection on the connector. Okay, but let's dive in. There's really not much I can show you with the gain. This is pretty much fully pegged. I guess I can dial the gain back a little bit. It's detented right here, this potentiometer, so it kind of stops. And if I roll it all the way back, I think this will go all the way to 0 and cut off completely. Let me see. Check 1, 2, check. Am I getting signal? Yeah, it's just very low. The pad on this, there's a pad switch on the back. It's a 30 dB pad, that's pretty wild for a pad. Most pads I've seen are like 20 or 10 dB. The one on this one's 30. I'm just going to continue the rest of this with the gain up all the way, just so we get nice, plenty of volume to do this. And I don't want to have to, I'm going to try not to like compress or edit the, or limit the audio for this, so that people can get a nice representation of what this preamp can do. I may just turn up like the master fader, because I'm recording this to Pro Tools when I put this to the video later. Let's look at the compressor. I do think on this unit, because I bought it used, if you can notice, the gain's up all the way, but the meter's barely moving. So I may have to calibrate that meter later. I'm pretty sure that's not accurate on this unit. In Pro Tools, let me see. In Pro Tools, I'm getting like plenty of gain, at least up to I don't know. Maybe it is calibrated. I don't know. Oh, I need to double check that. If any of y'all have this unit and can let me know if I should mess with that or not, that would be really helpful. The next section of this is the compressor, which I really like on this unit, especially for the cost. I picked up this used at a pawn shop for like $180, $190. I know they're going for more on eBay, but I got a heck of a deal on this. And to me, I mean, it's another preamp I can have with, I mean, the exciter's cool. When I get to that, you'll see why. But I picked this up just, so I can have an extra preamp. I needed more preamps for my rig. And I also got this to kind of mess with to see if I can upgrade. And that's why I'm going to be doing this. Today I'm going to be doing the tubes. In the future I'm going to be doing the op amp. So let me set the meter, which seems to be calibrated correctly for the compressor. And then right now the attack and release are like as quick as they can be. To me, I think that sounds best for vocals, because when you start like, I guess, lengthening or increasing the release, it starts to really like pump, and like I'm not really going for that sound. I usually don't in most of my recordings. Okay, let me dial down the threshold. Right now the ratio is on 2:1. May be hard to see because of the shadow. I don't have the best lighting in my studio. Alright, let's turn the threshold down so we can get a little bit of compression. That's all the way down. Oh, I gotta turn the compressor on for it to work. Okay, we got some compression going now. And then I'll just slowly turn up the ratio. It looks like it goes from 2:1 to 3:1. This is 3:1. I'm guessing at these ratios, so if I'm incorrect, please let me know in the comment section. I think this is 4:1. 5:1. I can really hear it pump now. Again, the attack and release are as fast as they can be. 6:1. I'm again guessing. Maybe 7:1. 8:1. 9:1. And that's really slammed. And then I'm gonna assume maybe like this is like 10:1. Although that sounds like very heavy compression. The next notch may be like 20:1. And then it goes all the way infinity to 1. This is slammed. This is like max compression on this thing. Maybe I should dial it to half, and then yeah, it's detented right here. The ratio is as well. Not all the knobs are detented. Let me see if the threshold is. Nope, it's not detented. The release knob is detented right here at 12 o'clock. And then like you can really hear it duck when I get loud. I mean, that may have a cool effect on certain instruments, not so much on vocals. And then I'll just go all the way up with the release. Hello. All right, let me take that back down. Continue with the attack. See, let's try them both at 50%, maybe because the attack's so fast. Hello. Yeah, that's a little bit more manageable. You can still hear it like really when it kicks in. Hopefully at just the peaks. Yeah, that release is too slow for vocals in my opinion. I really like a fast attack and release on most of my compressors unless I'm going for like a pumping effect. I mean, in general, not just on preamps, but you know, when I'm doing mixing and mastering. Let me crank that up again. Maybe threshold's all the way down, ratio's all the way up. Fast attack, fast release. You can really hear it, just slamming the vocals right now. Let me go all the way to slow attack, slow release. Yeah, the attack goes from 5 milliseconds all the way up to 100. Release is just seconds, 1 to 2 seconds. Which from what I was reading on earlier models, they actually had the milliseconds listed under the release. That's one way to kind of tell the version of this is the older models had the milliseconds. The newer models, which this one is, or newer revisions rather, have 1 to 2 seconds. All right, let's go back down to a fast. All right. Take the ratio down. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the compressor out. All right, this is no compression at all. Then we're going to play with the exciter on this, which I think is really cool. Gives you some nice cool effects. I mean, if like I can understand why they would maybe use this for radio or sell this as a radio unit. You can see as I turn the bottom of the exciter up, I sound like I've grown 2 feet and about 100 pounds deep, a lot of bass. Starting to kind of hear the rumble from the fans in the room. Looked a little scratchy there. I'll have to clean that later. That's the bottom of this. I'm going to turn the bottom all the way back down. And then this is like, it's definitions what it's labeled, but reading the manual, it's a high-end exciter. Nice and airy, trebly. Turn them both up, and you get kind of this effect. That's maybe too much. Both at 12 o'clock and compared to out, let me take it out. That's normal. This is what the exciter in. And I think that's pretty cool. You know, if maybe you're going for some type of commercial recording, you know, like you're doing like a radio commercial, that would be cool to give that really like just warm announcer vocal sound. Another tool to have in the toolbox. All right. Now, from what I understand, I'm about to swap the tubes in this unit. From what I understand, let me take the exciter out. The tubes affect the preamp. I think it's one for the preamp, one for the compressor, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm going to turn the compressor on and just slam it again for the comparison's sake, so I can leave the tail of this recording before I turn the preamp off and swap the tubes with just a slam compressor, fast attack and release. Again, I haven't changed the output and gain levels at all except for the beginning, which you saw. And then thresholds all the way down, so I'm really slamming these vocals right now. Let me see the ratio. Yeah, ratio's all the way up. I'm going to leave the settings like this, and now I'm going to swap the tubes. So this is your final, I guess these are factory tubes. I don't know what they put in these things from the factory, but I'm about to swap them for some Muller tubes. Here we go. Okay, there it goes. Guess it takes a second to kind of warm up. I can definitely tell a difference right away. And I know what you're saying. Well, first of all, I should have said before I swapped those, don't do this unless you know what you're doing. If you don't, consult a professional. And you're also probably going to say, well, Richard, you didn't unplug it, but have it connected to my Furman power strip. So before I swapped those, I did flip off the power strip, so there was no voltage going to the unit when I swapped it. But this is what it is now with the Muller tubes. It's definitely a different character. I can tell right away. And I know another thing you're going to say is, well, you need to allow some burn-in time for this. And I totally agree. I'm going to do, like I say, maybe I'll have enough hours on this that the tubes will have burned in when I swap the op amps on this, and then do a comparison video of that. I could really, let me take the threshold a little bit off. I can really hear that compressor kicking in. It sounds a lot more subtle now with these Muller tubes. With those old tubes, man, it really slammed. Okay, take the ratio down. Check 1 2, check 1 2. That's a lot more manageable now with that tube. I like that a little bit better. Check the release maybe. No, the release is still outstanding on this. I guess 1 to 2 seconds says it. Okay, take the attack down. I got the ratio like at 12 o'clock right now in the little detent, because that knob's detented. Release knob's detented. I don't know why. I'm sure there's some reason, or maybe it was just the parts that they had when they mass produced these things. Alright, now the compressor all the way out. This is the compressor and the exciter. This is, again, max gain, max output level. Gives me plenty of volume straight into Pro Tools with the Shure SM7B. The last thing is the exciter. I'm going to see if it affected the exciter any. All in all, it has a lot different character than it did. Not the exciter, the preamp in general. I like it a lot better now. Or maybe that's just what my wallet's telling me because I spent money on tubes. All right, I don't think that anyway. I don't think the exciter is affected by the tubes in the circuit at all. Well, there you go. If you have any questions or suggestions or complaints, let me know in the comment section. I try to address everybody that comments on my videos. But until then, I guess we'll wait for part 2 of this when I upgrade the op amps, because I think that's really going to make a huge difference as well. Hopefully it'll lower the noise floor a little on this, although the noise floor isn't really that bad. But that would be a nice addition. Stay tuned.